right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Priscilla, and I'm on the marketing team here at Samsara. Today, we have a really special training that's part of our Samsara Quarterly series, where we update you on Samsara's product releases and how to use them. Now, there's always a lot going on, and we've heard feedback that it's hard to keep up with all the new features and changes in the dashboard. And that's why we're here, right? What you can expect from each Samsara Quarterly is a look back on the past couple of months. Think of it as a live webinar highlight reel of the What's New page in your dashboard. You can always get new feature information there as releases come out, but we want to have a dedicated space every quarter where you can come and hear directly from us and have the chance to ask some questions. I know you guys are already submitting some questions, so that's really great. I will note that we are going to go through a lot of material today, and it's targeted at more established customers. So if you're newer to Samsara and you're still getting your feet wet, please don't worry. Some of the stuff might feel a little bit fast, but it'll all come together as you grow in your Samsara knowledge. And if this is your first quarterly, welcome, welcome. We're very glad that you're here. And lastly, I just want to put it out there, this is a roadmap-free zone. We're really focusing today on releases that have already come out, and we're more than happy to answer questions related to those. This is just not the place to talk about our product roadmap. So if you have specific questions or feature requests related to the roadmap, please submit those in your Samsara dashboard via the feedback button. All right. I want to make sure to introduce our panel of experts and help you put our voices and names to what we look like. Today we have Kaitna, Sherry, and Martine on the line today, who are all on our product marketing team. You might also be able to see their faces and names in the speaker bio section of your console. So you can always scroll through and just remember that we're real people and we're here to help you and give you some information. And of course, I've been talking to you for the last couple minutes. Hello again, my name is Priscilla. So our training today will focus on updates covering a couple of different themes. Safety insights to enable remote coaching, building structure and automation workflows for teams, and also a special section to introduce remote monitoring and control. And as always, we'll have a couple announcements and a live Q&A with Kaitna, Sherry, and Martine at the very end. After the training, you'll get a recording of the session in a follow-up email, and I'll also send out these slides so you can take a look at them. They'll have links to different resources, and you can peruse those on your own time. We also have our stellar support and customer success teams on the line ready to answer your questions. So you should see this Q&A box. I know a bunch of you have been asking questions already, but let me just go ahead and highlight that for you again so you can see where it is. If you have a question, just type it in and hit send, and the team will answer everything they can and follow up on anything we're unable to get to or help out with live during this webinar. I have 5 people on the line today helping answer your questions: Beth, Hannah, Catherine, Nada, and Sarah. They will be taking care of you today. All right, so to kick us off, Samsara has a mission of improving the efficiency, safety, and sustainability of the operations that power our economy. For the past few years, we've been focusing on driving innovation in the areas of real-time data, artificial intelligence, and open APIs. And we have a large team dedicated to research and development and, of course, customer support. Our teams read every single feedback submission that we get from you, so keep sending those in to inspire our new features. Today, we've grown to serve over 20,000 organizations worldwide across a variety of industries in both the public and private sectors. And we truly believe that this is a partnership. So on behalf of the Samsara team, I just want to thank you for choosing Samsara and trusting us with your business. So it's our first training webinar of 2021, and we're still in January. And January is typically a month of thinking through the next year, making plans, setting goals. And I'm really interested in just learning more about what you've been thinking about. So I'm going to put a quick poll up, and the question is, how could Samsara help your organization in 2021? You should see that pop up on your screen. Take a look, pick the option that most resonates with you. And as you know, feedback is super valuable to us, whether it's product-related feedback or just the opportunity to learn more about the challenges that you're navigating. So take a moment and answer the poll. How could Samsara help your organization in 2021? we're actually going to be using these goals that you submit to understand how we can best support you. And we're doing a little bit of planning ourselves. What kinds of new training webinars should we put on in the months to come? What kind of topics you're interested in, areas that you want to hear more about and learn from peers who've actually been doing a lot of great work in those areas. So your feedback will be super valuable in helping us make those plans. Okay, it looks like just under half of us have been able to make our selection, so I'll leave this up here for another little bit. There are a lot of options, right? You got to really think through each of those, so I'll give you some extra time. All right, let's take a look at what your peers are focused on this year. Wow, so it looks like we're pretty spread out. We see safety. About 1/3 of y'all are focused on improving safety in some way. Another big one that's coming up here is increasing back office efficiency. Yes, making sure that there is a good collaboration going on between drivers and different parts of your back office. Improving driver workflows, managing operational costs up there too, as well as streamlining compliance processes. And a good 1/10 of you guys are interested in enhancing the customer experience. That looks awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So we know that your operations are spread out and sometimes distributed over a large area. Drivers are on the road, back office teams are at headquarters, or maybe working from different terminals, or maybe even working from home right now. And, we're seeing here all of these themes, just increasing back office efficiency, improving driver workflows, improving safety. There's a lot that goes into creating a collaborative and efficient operation and workplace, right? When everybody isn't always in the same place together. So we're very excited to dive into our training to talk about just that and to share about the tools that you have right now at your disposal. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Kaitna to share about how Samsara is providing safety insights to enable remote coaching.
Thanks, Priscilla. My name is Kaitna, and I'm a product marketing manager on our safety team. So today, I'm really excited to walk through some new safety insights you will be able to leverage across your team to coach more effectively, as Priscilla was just mentioning, when your operations are spread out. These features are all optional for you to turn on, but I wanted to provide visibility to them to really ensure that you're aware in case you decide to start incorporating some of these tools into your custom workflows. So we know it can be challenging to have, for a lot of leadership and safety managers, to have visibility into safety insights across teams. With your operations being spread out over numerous locations, we know that it's important to compare fleet safety data across different teams and different regions. Additionally, since the launch of our customizable safety scores last year, we've seen many fleets leverage them for incentives and gamification among drivers. But we also know that it's important to identify the types of risks that are having the biggest impact on safety scores, such as speeding, and even why they vary across teams and drivers, so you can make business decisions and policy changes accordingly. So our new safety dashboard allows you to use tag-based navigation to compare safety scores between regions and teams and quickly drill into those teams and drivers. As an executive, you can actually use this to understand how your organization is trending in safety and even identify top and bottom performing tags and drivers. You can also access new risk factor reports within the safety dashboard, which provides a clearer breakdown of what is driving a safety outcome and how that specific risk factor, such as a harsh brake, affects the safety score. You can also use the key contributors section to understand where to prioritize coaching, as it shows data such as how much severe speeding is occurring and where it's occurring. All of these improvements are really made to enable our customers to get much more granular with their coaching and their prioritization of different resources. And so just wanted to touch on this next piece. When the COVID-19 pandemic took hold in March, our top priority at Samsara was to support our customers with tools to navigate this unprecedented time. But as we dug in, we started to realize that many of our fleets were already spread out between multiple locations and regions, just as Priscilla was mentioning earlier. Many of our safety managers were already accustomed to having drivers out on the road, and they were already used to having to coach remotely. So we're excited to announce that we've actually built new solutions that will help our fleets coach more efficiently and effectively, even if a safety manager and a driver are in two different locations. As many of you know, the nature of our safety offering is real-time and proactive due to capabilities like artificial intelligence. Technology can provide proactive insights by helping identify and prevent unsafe behaviors before they lead to real risk. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found in 2020 that some of these unsafe behaviors, like impaired and distracted driving, increased, while seatbelt use decreased, contributing to a higher overall fatality rate last year. And even though fleets put in policies such as, wearing a seatbelt at all times on the road, sometimes drivers just don't always adhere to it. So our advanced AI now provides real-time visibility to 3 new fleet policy violations: no mask, no seatbelt, and camera obstruction. So this essentially means that if a driver is not wearing a seatbelt, or maybe the inward-facing camera is obstructed, maybe it's taped over at the beginning of a trip, an optional in-cab alert will sound to help change driver behavior in real time directly in the cab. And that footage will also automatically be uploaded to your dashboard. And we've limited the alert to just 1 time per trip at the very beginning, so drivers can adjust behavior right at the start before the probability of risk starts to increase as they start to drive longer times. And these policy violation detections are in open beta and will not have any impact to safety scores while they remain in open beta. This really is just another example of how our Samsara AI dash cams help bring visibility, they detect unsafe behavior, and reduce risk in real time. Mask detection, no seatbelt detection, and camera obstruction join our growing suite of AI-detected events and behaviors, which as of today also includes tailgating detection and distracted driving detection. We also know how important it is to have consistency and accountability when you coach drivers. These are all components of a proactive safety culture that can be enabled by the right technology. And we've heard from many of our customers that our AI dash cams have given them visibility to really put themselves in the driver's seat and see things from their point of view, creating a mutual shared understanding and allowing drivers and coaches to just quickly get on the same page during coaching conversations. Our new optional live streaming feature takes that concept one step further by enabling virtual ride-alongs, making it possible to safely onboard and train new drivers in an increasingly remote workplace. So now safety managers can stream road-facing video, inward-facing video, or both from the Samsara AI dash cams to their Samsara dashboard in real time. And it's actually really exciting for us because with this launch, we've also incorporated driver-centric features with a privacy by design approach. So essentially that means that in-cab alerts will notify drivers anytime a live stream starts and ends to ensure that drivers always know when live streaming is activated. And I just wanted to share a quick story from one of our customers, Senior Care Emergency Services, on how they use live streaming. So they say, as an emergency service, we do random audits of crews driving on emergency calls to ensure that both the lights and sirens are activated and that the crews are coming to a complete stop at all intersections, keeping the ambulance, crew, and public safe. Live streaming allows us to give instantaneous feedback as if we were in the cab with the crew. And so clearly you can see here, Robert Ackerman, our safety director at Senior Care, really thinks that live streaming is so valuable because it's allowing them to really just give that real-time feedback and really put themselves in the shoes of actually just being with the crew. And so during coaching conversations, we've also often heard from our customers that as they have coaching conversations, it's really important to ensure that drivers feel valued, they feel protected, and actively engaged. And in fact, a 2018 Gallup poll found that companies with more engaged employees actually have 48% fewer safety incidents. So that's huge to really ensure you can clearly see the impact of keeping, engaged employees, engaged drivers. So as we started to think about that, we figured, how can we actually enable our customers to really make sure that they're having engaged drivers during coaching conversations? So our new driver video share feature actually makes it easier than ever to coach drivers remotely without the need for in-person interaction. So with optional driver video share, safety managers can share event videos directly with drivers, who will receive a notification with a link to the event details and the video footage. So this really enables evidence-based and self-guided coaching that can happen on a mobile device and at a driver's own pace, perhaps maybe at a rest stop, since they can really access these videos on their mobile device whenever it's convenient for them. And this feature allows drivers to receive one-on-one coaching and feedback without needing to go back into the office. And it also allows them to provide feedback and openly communicate using video-based evidence. And so that pretty much wraps it up for our safety portion. Today, we showed you how to leverage new insights that you can get from the safety dashboard to understand where to prioritize coaching. Being able to leverage new tools like policy violation detection, no mask, no seatbelt, camera obstruction, live streaming features, and driver video share, all of these allow you to drive more effective coaching conversations on the road and really shorten the time from event occurring to coaching with your drivers, despite not being in the same location. With tools like driver video share, we've really been focused on simplifying communication with drivers. And now we have some exciting updates to share around the driver experience and how we're streamlining that communication. So now I'll pass it off to Sherry to talk through some of these improvements.
Thanks so much, Kaitna. Hi, everyone. My name is Sherry, and I'm excited to tell you about some recent updates that should help both you and your drivers work more efficiently. Let's talk first about how you can streamline your drivers' work in the driver app. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the driver app, it's a great all-in-one tool that gives your drivers all the information they need to efficiently complete their daily jobs. It's free to download on iOS and Android, and it's included with your vehicle gateway license. We release new versions of our driver app every couple of weeks, and these updates are inspired directly by feedback from you as well as your drivers. They often contain tons of behind-the-scenes improvements that make the app experience snappier, more reliable, and easy to use. Today, we're going to talk about App Designer and Workflow Builder, which are two recent updates that help you give your drivers all the information they need while providing guidance that helps them minimize errors and minimize confusion when navigating the driver app. The way to check to make sure that drivers have an up-to-date version of the driver app is you want to make sure that they have just the latest app version, and you can visit our knowledge base for more details on how you can help your drivers stay up to date on their driver app. So let's first take a look at App Designer. App Designer gives you the tools that you need to simplify what drivers see in their app. You can go into the settings section of your dashboard to choose exactly which features drivers can access and when. And you can also configure the behavior of certain features. So, for example, let's say you want to ensure that drivers are being thorough when they're doing their DVIRs. You can require walk-around photos and comments on DVIRs in just a few clicks. Or let's say your company doesn't use team driving. You're going to be able to uncheck team driving in the App Designer section, and that tile will no longer appear for your drivers in the driver app. Once you've figured out how exactly you want to lay out the driver app, you can publish changes to drivers immediately. So this really just helps you tailor your drivers' mobile experience in a way that helps them minimize error and improve their overall app satisfaction. Once you've used App Designer to define the look and feel of your driver app, you can build workflows that guide your drivers through the start of their days. So Workflow Builder is accessible in the settings section of your dashboard, and it has a drag and drop interface that lets you visualize which tasks you want your drivers to complete and in what order. You can select which steps are required, drag and drop to rearrange that order, and delete any tasks that aren't relevant for your operations. Once you finish setting up and defining that start of day workflow, you can publish it to all your drivers. You can even select which tags you want these workflows to be accessible to, or if you only want these workflows to be accessible to a specific driver. Once you publish this workflow, the driver app will automatically take your drivers through step-by-step procedure. And it basically gives your drivers all the guidance that they need to successfully complete the tasks that you've defined. This has been particularly helpful for customers like Western Concrete Pumping. Western Concrete Pumping is one of the nation's largest concrete pumping companies, and they manage over 140 vehicles and 160 drivers who serve customers across 7 different states. When we spoke to Carol, their fleet administrative assistant, she mentioned that before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Western Concrete Pumping used to have to travel to each branch office to train operators in person. And that could be pretty difficult to train drivers and operators in person and make sure that everybody knew the procedures that were necessary to support Western Concrete Pumping's safety first, people first mindset. Now that they're working remotely, they plan to use Workflow Builder to define start of day workflows to ensure that drivers are following the defined safety procedures around submitting pre-trip inspections, checking their hours of service. And so with Workflow Builder, Carol says that they can be more confident that drivers are completing the right task in the right sequence, even now that they're working remote. And all of this just helps their entire operations be more safe and efficient. A quick pro tip here when you are building your workflows is to really take advantage of our documents features. So one of our other customers, Athens-Clarke County, actually has a custom sanitization document that they want their drivers to submit before the start of their day. And so what they've done is they've created a custom document to capture all of their sanitization steps, and they've added that sanitization checklist to the start of their drivers' workflows. No matter what type of document you want to use, you can build it with our custom documents feature. So for example, if you want to build a cargo inspection report, you can use documents and create that report, or create that checklist, and add in fields like multiple choice, conditional fields, barcode scans, or even signatures. And then once you have finished defining that customized document, you can pop that into your start of day workflow and make sure that your drivers complete it at the start of their day. So switching gears a little bit, let's talk a little bit about how you can streamline work for yourself in the back office. Kind of similar to your drivers, streamlining work for yourself in the back office all comes down to getting the right information at the right time and being able to access that information quickly. So let's talk about how you can make sure you get the right type of information that's suited for your fleet. Let's talk about ways that you can build custom reports for your team. So Samsara offers 30 pre-built reports that are available right out of the box. We recently introduced custom reports, which lets you take all of the rich real-time data collected by Samsara and turn it into your own personalized reports. It's a simple drag-and-drop report builder that lets you select 80 different types of data that you want to report on. Let's take a look at how you can use this in your fleet. So we should be playing a video here, and what you'll be able to see is that you're going to be able to select the type of asset that you want to report on. And you're going to be able to select all the different columns that you want to appear in your report. So for example, if you want to report on compliance as well as certain driver attributes, you can select that. You're going to be able to rename that report to reflect whatever it is that you want to report on. You can drag and drop to reorder the order of these columns, and then you can select the time period that you want this report to show on. Why is this so helpful? Well, we know that Samsara collects a lot of data, but you might have your own way of wanting to correlate that data to generate the insights that you need for your fleet. So for example, if you want to find a way to report on fuel efficiency that isn't captured in our efficiency reporting, you are going to be able to combine fuel usage data plus maintenance data and activity history to figure out whether or not your vehicles are being operated efficiently. Let's say you want to create a more customized driver payroll report. You can now combine time on site data plus distance traveled if those are the metrics that you pay your drivers on. Or let's say you want to get a closer look into some factors that might be contributing to your maintenance needs. You might want to look at distance traveled plus engine hours and then figure out if any unsafe DVIRs have been submitted recently against those vehicles. Whatever type of report you want to generate, Custom Reports gives you the flexibility to create those reports so that you can get those insights that you need. And once you have created those reports, I think it would probably help you to be able to access those reports really quickly. So we're really excited to introduce a feature called Favorites. What this allows you to do is just find and navigate to your most recent reports in just a few clicks. So next to all of your Samsara reports, including your custom reports, you're going to be able to see a star next to the name of that report. Once you click on that star, that report is going to be added to the navigation on your left-hand side of your dashboard. And that just makes it really easy for you to access the reports that you need, and it saves you from having to click into specific parts of your dashboard. Having these reports at your fingertips helps you save time when you're navigating to the insights that you need to access to manage your fleet more efficiently. So, in a nutshell, what we've really introduced here are tools that streamline workflows for everyone. With App Designer and Workflow Builder, you can design a mobile app experience that helps your drivers get the information they need and minimize error and improve your drivers' overall app experience. With Custom Reports and Favorites, these are tools that help you get access to the information that you need. So it helps you save time from having to click around in your dashboard while making sure that you can find exactly the type of insights that you need to keep your operations going. So I'm going to take a quick breather here. I know that Caitlin and I just walked you through a ton of new updates that help your fleet operate safely and efficiently. Just a quick reminder, if you have any questions on what we just covered, please do continue to use the Q&A box to submit your questions. Our great support team is on the line to help you answer those questions live, and we will continue to have live Q&A at the end of this.
Thank you, Sherry. This is really exciting stuff. Not only the ability to build workflows and control what the driver app looks like to make things easy for drivers, but you also have the flexibility to pull different pieces of data together in a custom report. It means that you can now report on just about anything you want and make sure that you're showing your leadership or other stakeholders how well your operation is running. Now, with operations, I know we've been really focused on your fleets and drivers and back offices so far, just the teams that manage that part of your organization. But a lot of you guys have crews and personnel that perform many other job functions outside of just driving. Some of you have facilities and warehouses. Some of your operations include lots of equipment, maybe in really remote locations as well. And if that's the case, it's all the more important to have a view into your entire operation. We know that your fleet might just be one part of the larger picture, but that all of those parts are connected to each other. So let's take a look at what it could look like to have a fully connected operation.
Thank you for that introduction, Priscilla. Hi, everyone. My name is Martine, and I'm excited to talk to you a little bit more about how we're expanding visibility across your operations. So many of you may already be familiar with our asset tracking products that can give you visibility into the engine diagnostics of your mobile assets. But after speaking with many of our customers, we learned that you needed deeper visibility into more of your most mission-critical equipment. This includes everything you see on the slide here, from your industrial generators and compressors, boilers and chillers, to custom machines. These are the pieces of equipment where timely maintenance is critical, and a downtime event can cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, per day. And so with our remote monitoring solution, we're extending the same real-time visibility, alerting, and reporting that you love from our fleet products to your industrial equipment. We've also added some powerful new features along the way, like more advanced customization, diagnostic and troubleshooting tools that allow operators and technicians to more effectively manage the equipment remotely. And so after spending some time with our customers to better understand their operations in this space, we found that there were three key areas where we could provide the most value. The first is by offering a consolidated and agnostic platform that allows them to connect all of their equipment, no matter the type or make and model. The second is by offering greater customization across every part of our dashboard. And the third is to go beyond monitoring and allow our customers to use remote control to respond to critical events, turning the equipment on or off, adjusting set points for levels, pressures, and any other important parameters. So let's start by taking a look and talking a little bit more about why we focus on building a consolidated and agnostic system. Why is this important? So when we looked across our customers, we found that in most cases, they already had different types of sensors or controllers and PLCs. For those of you maybe who don't know what that is, it's sort of a device that connects you to your equipment and controls its operations. But again, they had all these different pieces of instrumentation installed on their equipment from all different kinds of manufacturers. And so in most cases, they had been collecting data for years. The challenge was really that all of this information was either only accessible on site or it was siloed across these different systems from each of these manufacturers. Historically, this has made it really costly and complex to get centralized visibility, with a lot of extra infrastructure required and custom integrations just to get things off the ground and connected. But instead of that, we wanted to flip the script and make it easier for our customers to get more value out of the instrumentation they already had deployed on their equipment. So typically with legacy solutions, what you see on the left here is they require several layers of both hardware and software infrastructure, again, to just get off the ground and get things connected. And so what we've done is two different things. The first is we've consolidated the monitoring or SCADA software, server infrastructure, historian layers. That's all in the Samsara cloud now. And the second is we're providing an agnostic way for you to connect your equipment to the cloud, the sort of physical layer, without having to worry about connectivity or service plans through our industrial gateway. And so really with this solution, our goal is to give our customers the fastest way to connect all of their existing sensors and controllers to the cloud so that they can get a consolidated view of every make and model of their equipment in a single Samsara dashboard. For them, this means there's no need to rip and replace your existing instrumentation. It means you get faster time to value and faster access to your data so you can actually use it to drive important business initiatives. And over the long term, it means lower vendor management costs. And so next, we also recognize that our customers' operations are really complex in some cases. They're all unique. Multiple users need access to different equipment data for different purposes. And so similar to what we shared earlier with App Designer, favorites, and even custom reports, we want to allow each user of our remote monitoring dashboards to have access to the most relevant data in a way that fits seamlessly into their existing workflows. So with that in mind, we're offering an unprecedented level of flexibility within our remote monitoring solution. Dashboards, alerts, and reports are all completely customizable. Whether that's mirroring the physical operation of a piece of equipment for a maintenance technician like you see here, where we can pull in time series trending data to assist with diagnosing issues or improving first-time fix rates. Or if it's surfacing higher-level KPIs for an operations manager, and even providing visibility to their clients with custom dashboards that are designed just for them. And in true Samsara fashion, we made this really intuitive and straightforward to set up. Every one of the dashboards you see here has been created using simple drag and drop tools, components, drop-down menus. Many can be created in just a few clicks like you see here. We've just pulled in a component into one of these custom dashboards, and now we're adding a trend line, associating that with data points that we're pulling in from a piece of equipment. In this case, it's a generator, and we're looking at fuel trends and fuel level over time. And so we wanted to take things a step further here as well, as I mentioned before, and give our customers the ability to take action in critical situations by offering remote control. And so using some of those same dashboards, those same simple drop-downs and simple tools to build those dashboards, technicians can save a trip on site and adjust set points for levels remotely or trigger remote shutdown in emergency situations. And they can do this for just about any type of equipment. And so there should be a video playing here, and it should give you a little bit of a closer look at what this looks like in the UI. You can see we've got a tank and a pump. We're monitoring the tank level over time, and we've got a few set points that you can adjust from the dashboard. And you can even turn that pump on and off just with a simple drop-down menu. And this has been a huge time saver for a lot of our customers. Here we have one of our customers, Soteris. They provide a compressed natural gas solution for really remote operations using a system of hubs and trailers. And in a lot of cases, their customers' operations are often a 5 or 6 hour drive away. And so with our remote monitoring solution, they have real-time visibility into a piece of equipment called a pressure reduction system. With this, they're not only able to ensure that gas is safely offloaded and flowing smoothly at the right pressures to power their customer operations at all time, but with remote control, they're able to respond immediately in emergency situations by adjusting set points or shutting down a piece of equipment before issues escalate. As you can see here from Brent Splett, the operations manager at Soteris, not having to take a 12-hour round trip on site has a pretty significant cost savings benefit. Soteris also happens to be a longtime customer of Samsara, and they've been using our telematics and driver safety solutions across their vehicle fleets, as well as I'm sure many of you here have on the webinar today. And so because they have Samsara deployed across their operations, from their fleets to their equipment, they're unlocking some really powerful new capabilities. And one of those is the ability to optimize dispatch using real-time data. So based on pressure readings from their equipment, Soteris is able to understand customers' consumption patterns for gas and fuel and when a trailer is likely to run out of gas. Their logistics team can then combine this with real-time location data of their vehicle fleet and identify the optimal time to dispatch their next trailer. This is something that they're calling just-in-time refueling, as you can see here from a quote from Chi Feng, their head of technology. And it's allowing them to ensure that they're not leaving any money on the table by bringing back a half-full tank to one of their hubs, and they're not running the risk of downtime by waiting too long to go out and refuel at one of their customer sites. And so what Soteris especially loves, and what we're hearing from more and more customers using the full lineup of all of our solutions, is that Samsara really is that all-in-one platform that provides value across their organization. You can see here at Soteris, the average technician is going to Samsara dozens of times a day, whether it's on the vehicle side with the driver app and interacting with our dash cams, or it's for remote monitoring dashboards, checking on the health of their equipment. This keeps their entire team connected, and it means they're able to focus less on managing technology and more on the core values of sustainability, safety, and excellent customer service. We're really excited to bring remote visibility to more parts of your operations. And so if you're interested in learning more about this solution, we're going to be hosting a webinar with Chi Fang, the head of technology at Certarus, on February 10th. And so before we wrap up here, we're really interested in hearing a little bit more about your operations and whether this is something that resonates with you. So I'm flashing up a quick poll here. I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you're monitoring your equipment today, or maybe you don't have equipment to monitor. Let us know. We're really curious. Would love to hear a little bit more from you. So I'll leave this up for just a few seconds to give you the time to complete the poll here. All right. And we've got one more poll for you here. If you are interested in learning more about remote monitoring and control, like I just mentioned, we're hosting a customer webinar with Certarus on February 10th. So let us know if you'd like to know more. Again, simple yes or no, and we'd love to connect more with you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Priscilla to wrap things up here. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to learn a little bit more about your operations and hear if you'd like to learn more about remote monitoring control.
Thank you, Martine. All right, so we've heard a lot from Kaitna, Sherry, and Martine with highlights on a couple themes today. Safety insights enable remote coaching, building structure and automating workflows for teams, and introducing Samsara's solution for remote monitoring and control. And we're just scratching the surface of the new features that have been released in the past couple months. There's a lot more that's come out in these areas and beyond. And again, today was designed to be a highlight reel of the new releases that have come out. If you want to learn more and check out some of the other features that we released in the past couple months, you can head to the What's New section in your Samsara dashboard. We've gone through a lot of information. I know a lot of folks are asking, hey, can you go deeper? Can you actually show us? That's what we're planning. Using the responses from the first poll that you did for your goals, we can design other training webinars, maybe a little slower, focused on one or two topics, and really walk through the dashboard a little bit more. So just stay tuned for some more of that information that will come out soon. Big thank you again to our support and customer success teams that have been answering your questions live on chat. We are ready to move into our live Q&A. So let's kick it off with this question. For Kaitna, are there plans for the live view to be longer? What if I want more than 5 minutes per month of live streaming? Is there an additional cost?
Yeah. Thanks for asking that question. So, as I mentioned, it's free to stream up to 5 minutes per CM3, so per AI Dashcam per month. However, if you do want more than 5 minutes per month of live streaming, it will be an additional $5 for up to 10 hours per AI Dashcam per month. So we do provide the ability to extend if you do want more than 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes.
Awesome. And I think I saw a bunch of different questions related to alerts. Some of them related to, is there an alert for forward-facing camera obstruction? Another one, a couple ones related to, can we set an alert for seatbelt use if our vehicles are not equipped with the AI safety dash cam? So maybe you can walk through some of the options for alerts here.
Sure. Definitely. So the first question you'd mentioned, Priscilla, is there an alert for the forward-facing camera obstruction? So right now the camera obstruction, it detects the inward-facing camera only. So there's no alert yet for road-facing camera obstruction. As we're really, first focused on building out the inward piece, the inward-facing camera obstruction, we've heard from a lot of our customers that they see, more tampering or just in general more blockage of the driver-facing camera. So we want to prioritize, getting that inward-facing obstruction to general availability first, and then we can sort of reevaluate the road-facing obstruction. So the second question you asked, Priscilla, are we able to set an alert for seatbelt use? if our vehicles are not equipped with a dual camera. So yes, the new seatbelt detection feature we talked through today is actually triggered through AI. So customers would need the dual-facing camera for the AI to, look into the cab and to be able to detect that there is no seatbelt through the video footage. However, for customers with a road-facing camera only, like we do have a diagnostic-based no seatbelt detection through the vehicle gateway. However, that is only supported for a limited subset of vehicle makes and models. So we really want to, ensure our customers are using the latest and greatest and are able to test out, more of the AI feature of no seatbelt use if they're able to.
Great. I see a bunch of questions flowing in related to workflows and setting up custom documents. I think there's just general questions around, I want to have more information about how to actually set up a custom document or a report. How do I actually go do that? That is really great feedback, and we'll be able to cover that in a future webinar. So if you can sit tight for a little bit, we'll be able to provide that resource for you. Now, Sherry, a couple questions for you relating to documents. Here's a question. Are documents we create available for drivers to do anytime and not just when we put it into a workflow?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, the short answer is yes. You can create documents that drivers can access at any time. And so you can create, let's say a lot of our customers have proof of delivery documents or citation documents, or if you want to create an accident report so that drivers have that available in case they get into an accident. All of those documents can be created and drivers will be able to access those at any time. The pro tip here was just if you want your drivers to be able to access that as part of a start of day workflow, you can pop a document in there. But you don't have to have documents in your workflow. Documents can be accessed at any time.
Sure. And then some follow-up questions related to custom reports. Are they only available for admins currently, or can other people kind of go in and create custom reports?
So we've been hearing a little bit of feedback from our customers. Currently, only full administrators will have the ability to create custom reports. However, we're working to expand that capability so that you can let other members of your team create custom reports in the future.
Great. I think there's some just general questions about, the app designer and workflow builder for drivers. Some people want certain drivers or a certain subset of their drivers to have a specific workflow. Sherry, how would they go ahead and manage that?
So in the workflow builder, once you create a workflow, you're going to be able to choose a specific driver name or a tag to be able to assign that workflow to that driver or that tag. And so you will be able to just pick who you want to have that workflow accessible to. So whenever you are kind of designing this app experience, once you've designed it, you're going to be able to assign it to the right drivers. I would definitely encourage you to look at the KB articles, which are going to be provided in the follow-up after this webinar.
Great. I see a question here. With the app designer, we can design each driver's app separately and will go directly to their individual phones. I believe that you can design the app, but it may be for your entire set of drivers. Sherry, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. So currently, when you configure your app experience, the app experience itself does get published to all drivers. It's really the workflows portion that you're going to be able to choose who gets a certain workflow. For the app designer, the experience is for all of your fleet.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, it looks like we're coming up on the top of the hour here. A couple questions I saw related to remote monitoring and control. If you can monitor different pieces of equipment if you don't have a fleet, absolutely. I'm sure that Martin and his team would be really happy to talk through what that would look like for you. All of our products are kind of, you can pick and choose which ones are applicable for your operation. So you can always choose one without having some other pieces, as long as they don't rely on each other to forward information to the cloud. Other questions related to just being in remote areas. Martin, I think there was a question related to being in a really remote area, not having great connectivity. But I believe that there's actually a new kind of sensor that can improve ranges for connectivity. Is that right?
Yeah, so two things there. One, our industrial gateway is actually one of our first devices that supports dual SIM connectivity. That means it's going to automatically switch between sort of our two largest national cellular carriers, and it also includes sort of a special antenna to boost the signal. So we've worked in some of the most remote locations, as you saw with Certarus, and we've pretty much had no issues with connectivity there. So that is something that's possible. And Priscilla, I think the thing that you just mentioned as well is an additional wireless module. So if you do have a particular remote site and maybe not a whole lot of ability to wire a lot of sensors, we do offer wireless monitoring of those sensors with one of our new modules. So yeah, we can definitely work within both of those settings.
Awesome. So for all of the folks here who are interested, I have just a date for you. I think Martin mentioned it earlier also. With Certarus, we are having a webinar on February 10th on how they use remote monitoring to gain a competitive edge. And if you are able to join that webinar, you'll be able to ask additional questions. And of course, if you responded that you were interested in learning more, Martin and his team will get back to you with more information. All right, so I know we are a couple minutes away from the top of the hour. I want to make sure that you guys are able to get back to the rest of your workday. And I know that you hear us talk about getting feedback a lot, and our training webinars are no exception. And we would just really love your feedback on your experience here on this webinar. So all of you guys on the line, if you have a smart device, go ahead and take it. Open up that camera app, hold it up to this QR code, and a link will pop up on your screen. So I'll leave the slide up for you so you can go ahead and answer that feedback survey. It'll only take 2 minutes. We really, really appreciate just your feedback so that we can prepare for future ones, make sure that you guys are getting the content and the resources that you need to continue learning more about what Samsara is bringing to your operation. So go ahead and fill out that feedback survey right now. While you're doing that, have a couple more announcements. If you submitted a question via chat and you haven't received a response yet, please don't worry. We'll follow up with you regarding your question after the webinar. And I also just want to remind you again that we'll be sending out an email later today with a couple of different resources. You'll get a recording of today's training, a PDF handout of the slides that you saw today, and we'll also include that link for the webinar that's coming up on February 10th. Again, if you're interested in learning more about tracking equipment, remote monitoring, controlling those pieces of equipment, we have the opportunity to hear directly from Certarus on how they are using that and how they are actually also connecting that to their drivers and making sure that they're able to connect their operations together. We also have a few trainings coming up in the next couple months. We'll be focusing on how to build a safety program. I know a lot of you guys talked about wanting to improve safety. We'll talk about how to reduce fuel costs. And of course, we'll have our next Samsara Quarterly also in the next few months. So again, we'll send out emails with the registration links as we finalize those dates. So keep an eye out for that. And that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining. We're at the top of the hour. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.